Grant, how did you go from sheep to being a stud of standardbred horses?
Long story, really, Greg, but there was always a family involvement, really. There was my father and grandfather had horses. Dad never really actively probably, there was always one in the paddock, but he never sort of probably got them to the races. In hindsight, looking back now and knowing how tough farming and that was probably back in the 70s and 80s, he probably didn't have the funds to be doing it at times, but there was always a mare there, and yeah, that's we got back into the original old family through the Harness Weekly. The Murfitt, old Frank Murfitt had Ashley Sunset advertised. She traced back to the family, and we started breeding from there. And Phoebe Sunset was the first one we bred and became our first winner. So that was the start of that side of it, yeah.
But that's a long way into, righto, I'm going to stand some stallions now.
Yeah, and then anyway, we got further down the track and we'd gone through the yearling sales with a few, after numbers had built a little bit, Javerna and Camwood Smarty and co. And I'd sent a mare to Imperial Count the first year that he was here. And anyway, Jonathan McNeil rang me one day when he had him and he was looking for somewhere to go, and whether I knew of anyone that may have been interested. And at that stage, so I mean, I didn't know of anyone, but then I thought, well, bugger it, how tough can this be? And that's how it happened. And yeah, real farmers straight out story with my dummy mare and everything's handmade with a hammer and nails by me. Go out there and build something that looks like the back end of a horse, and that's what happened. Yeah. And it's still going.
Yeah. Well, it'd be fair to say you're at the lower end of the market, which therefore, when the news came out last week about the new Harness 5000 series, must have almost been music to your ears.
Yes, I mean, it's got to be a good thing. I like the concept. I always was a Jules fan. I love the Jules as far as, everyone at the start of the season was on zero and you could follow them right through, and certainly over those last few weeks when it was getting down to the nitty-gritty of who was going to qualify or not qualify, it was a good thing, and we're obviously going to be in a similar sort of format here. So it's got to be a good thing certainly for these horses at the lower end of the market.
Right. Let's talk about your stallions. One that I'm pretty fond of, Royal Aspirations, has done a massive job.
Yeah, he has. And he's still, to be fair, after doing that big book, it's been a wee bit disappointing with the numbers that he's done since. They haven't got the backup numbers, but that big crop's coming on stream next year as 2-year-olds. There's no doubt that the increase in the quality of the mares that he got that particular year must help him. Because, that's the other thing that we're in. We're not, generally these horses aren't getting the best quality mares. They, with all due respect, tend to not find themselves in the top stables. So to do what he's done with the numbers and the quality of the mares he's done is outstanding. And I mean, Fred's got to take a lot of credit for that. I mean, crikey, he certainly knows how to train a Royal Aspirations.
Yeah, he definitely does. He really does. What a brilliant racehorse he was. His Jules performance will long stay in my memory.
Yeah. Royal Aspirations racing well clear, and the Fred Fletcher trained Royal Aspirations will take the 2-year-old Ruby and do it in very good style.
Stay in my memory.
Yeah, that's right. And he jogged that, and no one's got near it since. And there's been
56.5, was it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
No, stunning performance. What about the other lineup you've got? They're all Group 1 winners. Lockerburn, he's a
well, you do
winner.
sort of, when you go at the back and feed up and everything, at times you do sort of think, gee, there's some pretty nice horses here. Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favourite races to watch is Lockerburn winning the Derby.
The big fella Lockerburn, he comes now. It's Isire and Lockerburn the two. Isire, Lockerburn, and he won it.
He had no right to win that race.
Yep.
And he was just tough. And yeah, he hasn't got the numbers, but he's got a very nice 2-year-old in Australia there at the moment. So that's certainly going to be one to follow.
Yeah, another Derby winner, dual Derby winner, Krug's here too.
Yes, he is. And we had a bit of a late start with him. And again, he probably didn't get the numbers that we expected last year with him not being in the Stallion Guide and just right there at that early part of the season when people were making their decisions. But he's developed into a lovely, lovely stallion. And yeah, I'll be surprised if he can't leave something like. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been some pretty well-respected breeders come and inspect him, and one in particular I know from down south that's rated him very highly and sent mares, a couple of mares to him, and has already got mares booked in this year too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful horse, beautiful race horse.
Lovely temperament and great to handle, and that makes my job easy too. So.
Yeah, and a terrific record, as did Habibi Inter, who won a Dominion by a cricket pitch.
Yeah, and he's a different hand story when it comes to handling him, sort of thing. He's a bit of he's never changed from being a teenage boy when it comes to doing this business side of it. And all the other three I do by myself, but I have Richard Aubrey comes down and helps me with him just because he is he's a bit of an idiot, to be fair. But the reports we're getting on the early reports of his what will be 2-year-olds next year are absolutely top-notch stuff.
Well, he was a 2-year-old winner at group level, and went on with it from there, so he can get them up and going early.
Yeah, he should be able to. That's right. And the thing with him is, he went on the grass. He went early. He went over a mile. He could stay. He won a Jules. He won the Dominion. So he's every chance. And again, it just shows you how tough it is when a horse like him can only get 25 to 30 mares, sort of thing. But back in the day, he would be serving 50, 80 more, sort of thing. So.
Yeah. You're positive going forward, Grant, and this announcement can only enhance it. And like you say, it's not the golden ticket, but surely it can't be discouraging people.
Oh, it can't be discouraging. No, I mean, there is so much positive happening out there, and a lot of it's been directed probably more at the higher end. So it's certainly good to see something come back to the grassroots, because there is a lot of breeders out there that have been hurting probably, and but just to be able to confine the opposition down a wee bit, it will help.